Hello everyone. Today we're going to look at a scenario where the First Bulgarian Empire makes a return in 2025. Anyways, let's get into the scenario. The first thing the Bulgarians are going to do is clean up their weak neighbors of Albania, Montenegro, Serbia, the rest of Romania, and then Moldova, and then the rest of Greece. This is like a 5-country war, so it won't be that hard to win, but Bulgaria is just gonna clean up these guys pretty fast. They can't really fight back, so they just clean up these guys in the north and in the west. Greece can hold off a little bit, but probably not for too much, as we're assuming this is the Bulgarian Empire at its peak with modern equipment, so they are able to easily wipe out Greece. And for peace treaties, you can just well, for sure, yeah, just fluently annexed. These are the cleaned up borders of, the new Bulgarian Empire, I guess, I don't know. And their next target's actually going to be Bosnia, because might as well, free land, and because free land is free land, the Bulgarians are going to take it. They quickly, rampage through Bosnia as the Serbs are gone, so that's cool, I guess, but they're still been destroyed. The Bosnians do push back up over here in the north, but it just ends up with another encirclement, which, yeah, okay. And I'm not even gonna, this is just common knowledge. They fully annexed them, so that's cool. And the Bulgarians are gonna continue to rampage as they now declare war on Slovenia, Croatia, and Hungary. But we actually have Italy joining in as just to take, land. The Italians quickly invade into Slovenia and Croatia, taking back their World War II land. But Bulgaria has they're stronger than Italy, so they just instantly cut them off, and they move throughout Hungary, but Hungary does push back, and they take their entire country somehow, and push into Croatia, take Zagreb, that's nice. And this is kind of embarrassing for the Bulgarians, so they just, they do a little bit of funny to the capital, they kill their leader, and yeah, goodbye Hungary. Now let's look at a peace treaty. This won't be full annexation, surprisingly. In this peace treaty, Italy takes a little bit of land from both Croatia and Slovenia, while Bulgaria takes most of Hungary, but combines the rest of Slovenia, Croatia, and Hungary into a puppet state, just so they have a buffer zone for Italy, even though they directly border them, so I don't know what a buffer zone is going to do for them, but I guess it works. And now we're actually going to have a mini defense league against Bulgaria. This is going to be a few countries. Those countries include Austria, Austria, Czechia, Slovakia, and Ukraine. So now Bulgaria is blocked from going upwards, but they don't really care. So they just declare war on the rest of Turkey, and we have Syria and, Armenia joining in on this war. And now, Bulgaria's invasion of Istanbul works, and they take it pretty fast. But since Turkey is actually still stronger than Bulgaria alone, they're just not stronger than with Syria and Armenia, they're kind of gonna get cooked, but for now, they're going to destroy Bulgaria here. So on their islands, Bulgaria's gonna make a landing on the Turkish coast pretty fast, and then they go, their entire Aegean or Aegean Sea coast is taken. And seeing this, Syria's gonna invade Turkey pretty fast. And now we also have Armenia joining in on the fun. But Turkey has troops in Syria, so they're able to quickly just destroy them pretty fast. And they make a spearhead towards Lebanon, which works pretty fast, or pretty successfully, before they rampage and take Damascus. This causes Syria to fully push back, but also allows them to reconnect up with themselves just a bit, so that's good. And it also allows Turkey to push back Bulgaria a little bit, but Bulgaria takes Istanbul again, and now we also have Syria pushing in again, which is not really good for Turkey. And then Armenia continues their push, and they reach the coast before moving along it swiftly, because they want to ignore these mountains. Then Syria pushes up, and Armenia pushes down, and Turkey knows what's about to happen, so they pull something called getting the Blue Alliance to join the war. Instantly, these guys are able to rampage through this puppet state before moving into Bulgaria itself, but they can't move too far in, as this is new. Well, this area they can push far, but not in here, because this is, core territory. Bulgaria makes a spearhead towards their puppet state, and it goes successfully, and they meet up with Vienna before they capture Vienna swiftly and then move to cut off this group pretty fast. However, Ukraine is able to actually destroy Bulgarians here, as Ukraine is the strongest one here. But something very bad is going to happen to Ukraine, and you should know you should know what's going to happen if you're a mapper. Yeah, Russia joins. And since they already occupy Crimea, I have to update that, so yeah, there we go. And now they just push into the areas which they occupied in real life and quickly take it. But this time they're using their whole military, so they're able to quickly overpower Ukraine here. So Ukraine pushes back, they push back their troops quite a bit in order for them to push back Russia, and it goes very successfully, and they even recapture Crimea. Over here in Turkey, they push back Syria almost fully, but not before Bulgaria makes a spearhead toward Ankara and takes it, forcing Turkey to retreat a bunch of troops this way. They also fully retreat in Syria before Syria and Armenia meet up once again, and they take all of eastern Turkey before Turkey just surrenders and leaves the war. The blue team is able to push back Bulgaria fully before they just they take control of their puppet state once again and meet up with the Ukrainian forces. But knowing what's to come, these three countries just leave the war, which causes Bulgaria to get all of their land back, including their puppet. Bulgarian troops make a landing on Crimea and take the whole thing before they make a spearhead towards Russia and just itself, and it works pretty good. Russian troops then enter from Belarus, and they actually take Kyiv, which just causes Ukraine to surrender to Russia, but also Bulgaria and Syria. Now let's look at a peace treaty which will only be from Ukraine and, Turkey. Why did I mix that up? The peace treaty will end up looking like this, with Bulgaria taking 2 pieces of land from Ukraine, one right here in Crimea with some other lands here. Russia takes a lot of remaining Ukraine, while this is just Ukraine. And for Turkey, Bulgaria makes 2 puppet states and a lot of land from Turkey, including their old capital, and they take their capital and also their old capital. While Syria and Armenia join an alliance with Bulgaria while also getting a fair amount of land, while Turkey is left like this. But now we're going to have another alliance forming against Bulgaria, which includes Egypt, Palestine, Jordan, Lebanon, Cyprus, Iraq, Iran, Azerbaijan, Georgia, all of these countries. And for Israel, they're just, that makes sense. And Turkey's obviously going to join this alliance. But Bulgaria's next target is actually Italy, so that's kind of weird. Bulgaria is buffed in this situation, so they're gonna be able to destroy Italy, and they destroy them pretty fast. They also take San Marino, so sorry, but yeah. Italy is still strong, even against the buff of Bulgaria, but they're not that strong compared to Bulgaria, so the remaining Bulgarians on this coast are just gonna make a few more late naval landings along the Adriatic coast, and then they just take it all, including Venice, before Italy just takes all of this back. Italy continues to fight, and they take a lot of their land back, so that's good. But Bulgaria makes a landing in Sicily and takes the whole thing. And then they start to move up the boot, and they meet up with a second boot before continuing to go up before capturing Naples. So then, these guys continue to push up along the Adriatic coast before Italy just surrenders as they know their fate. So let's look at a peace treaty. In this peace treaty, Bulgaria takes a little bit of land from Italy over here in the north, and they take a lot of their southern land, including Sicily, before making a puppet on the rest of the Adriatic coast. With this, Italy obviously joins the Orange Alliance. After a few years, the tensions settled down quite a bit, so that's good, I guess. But then, the Orange team, they know it's the perfect time to jump them. So, they activate their alliance. What? Well, they activate their alliance, so that's cool, I guess. And because this was a surprise invasion, actually, these guys also are gonna join. So, Israel is gonna get cooked. Sorry if that was probably unrealistic, but they're gonna get cooked. But Syria has had time to rebuild, so they won't get invaded too much. Instead, the opposite will happen, and they take Lebanon and Cyprus before moving into the tip of Iraq and Iran, and also Azerbaijan. And Turkey's kind of cooked here as no one can supply them, so they're just gonna get invaded swiftly before surrendering. For Italy, they were not expecting this, and they're gonna get invaded, and they lose Rome. But, luckily they have this thing called, being friends with NATO, so they can easily not NATO, but they're friends with the United States, so they're getting supplied, and they push back fully. So then, they push into the puppet state and take it. Seeing how good of a success that was, they just push into new, Bulgarian Naples and also take it. They cannot take most of Sicily though, but they leave, the core parts of Sicily alone, because they know they're probably gonna not win that. But the blue team jumps Armenia, and they just take Armenia down pretty fast. But Syria is able to re-liberate Israel. Oh no. Israel goes ham here, and they just take Sinai and, Palestine and Jordan. Before, the blue team pushes back in Jordan. They continue to push back, especially on the border of the Saudis, and I wonder why. But Syria then pushes back almost fully. Well, they do push back fully, other than here in the north. Well, then they start to re-liberate Turkey, the blue team does at least, and they get pretty far in. And now Austria, Slovakia, Ukraine, and Poland, and Czechia joins this war. They quickly are able to overpower Bulgaria, and they take most of this puppet state. Before Poland kind of carries this war, especially over here, they get very, very far in. And with the help of Ukraine, Ukraine militarized fully, they are able to put Crimea right here on a kind of stalemate. They just put they just leave Crimea there. Bulgaria does not have much troops over here though, so they do push back quite a bit. But now Egypt is pushing back quite a bit, and so does Jordan, I guess. Now we have Syria going to take Baghdad, which they do. And then they also take the rest of Turkey once again, before moving into Armenia and taking half of it back, before swiftly moving into Georgia and taking half of it. But now we have rebels in Greece, which, that's not very good, Bulgaria. You're losing very, very valuable parts of your country. The Bulgarians do try to put them down, and they are successful, just a little bit though. But then we have rebels in, Istanbul, trying to join up with Greece. Sicily is taken by Italy, before the rest of Italy just moves down through the coast, as this is now being undefended, and they lose their puppet state pretty fast. Then the blue team continues to push through Bulgaria, and they get very, very far in, also taking Crimea. While the Greece rebellion continues to move up, and is going very, very successful, and they take most of Bulgaria and Turkey, before they make a spearhead towards Sofia, and yeah, it looks like it's over for Bulgaria. All of their allies just leave the war, so that's not really a good thing. And that causes all of their gained territory just to be regained. And, well, Armenia made a deal just for them to get all of their land back, so yeah. And now these guys are pushing back into Turkey through, well, Syria is giving them access for some reason, and so is Armenia, so they can live, so Turkey is re-liberated. The blue team does continue to push in. However, the Bulgarians are able to push back just a little bit from the Greek rebellion and the blue team. Well, not a bit. They take a lot of their Ukrainian land back. But they used almost all of their troops in that thing, so they lose a lot of. Well, they lose all of the Turkish lands. Now the blue team just takes back these. Well, they take these puppets, and Cyprus is reliberated. Ukraine continues to push in, and they retake Crimea before going down the Bulgarian coast and taking it all, basically encircling the massive country. Both rebel groups, the rebel group here moves in and they actually capture Sofia, and they continue to move around it, taking a lot more land before the blue team just takes up the rest. Anyways, let's look at a peace treaty. In this peace treaty, Turkey gets almost all of their land back other than the land they lost over here, and Greece gets to keep all of this. Italy got their Adriatic coast, a lot more. Austria, doubled in size. Slovakia got a little bit of land. Poland got, this piece of land from Bulgaria. And Ukraine got, I'm pretty sure all of this back, so that's nice. And now we have, a bunch of new countries, and this is what is left of Bulgaria this day. Anyways, I hope you liked this video. Make sure to like and subscribe. Have a good day. Goodbye.